All right, YouTube, flip bike number 19 is done. All we had to do with this one was rebuild the carb, clean her up. I mean, she came out nice. I mean, I haven't touched up the frame. As far as scuffs go or gouges, this is about it right there. Very minor. I would say this is pretty comparable to that yellow one I had, that one owner bike, but she's definitely clean. So the only thing I did do was swap out the pogo shocks from mine to this. That's not going to make a difference, but I did put them on mine. I know I did put a poll out there about keeping this one, swapping everything off my 03 onto this one and selling the 03, but honestly, there's so much on that 03 that it really isn't worth my time. Plus the 03, I know I've been in that engine, I know what's in that engine, and it's a great bike. You know, as far as the frame stuff goes, back in the day, I'll show you when I get a chance, but it has a gusset on top of the shock here, and it has gussets down here. I don't know who put those on. They look like bare gussets, but I'm not sure. So I'm fine keeping the 03. It's just of a nice of a bike as this. This one I definitely know is a one owner. I do believe my 03 wasn't a one owner as well. It might have been a second owner, but it was well taken care of. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this one on the market, and we're gonna sell this one. All this one needed was a carb rebuild and a cleaning, a deep cleaning, but she came out looking brand spanking new. Pretty damn close. I would say 98% new looking. I did touch up the frame. All right, so as I was saying, I'm gonna go ahead and keep the 03 and we'll sell the 07. I've just got way too much onto this bike and into this bike. I know what's inside the motor. I know how it looks. It's a clean machine. I change the oil regularly with synthetic oil. I mean, aftermarket stuff, you know, I got the steering stabilizer. I'd have to change the handlebars over. And unfortunately, my gauges are down here. The light bar would need to go over. Love the gripper seat. The rack could come off. But I just went ahead and throw the resi shocks on there. So we will keep this one. And as I was saying before, as far as being gusset frame, so there's a gusset here, and then if you look up here, this piece here was added on to stiffen this part. These were known to prone to crack right up here. So I don't know what gusset kit this is. Like I said before, I think it's a Bear, but I'm not sure. I know Bear also has a gusset that goes there, I do believe. So this one has been reinforced. It doesn't look like it's been broken. It was just reinforced. So I am gonna go ahead and keep this one. I'm waiting on an air filter for this one. It's pretty deteriorated in there. I got a uni filter in there. But it's a great bike. I love it. I definitely need to adjust the valves. And we'll adjust them, see how they do. If they're still pretty loud, I may pull the head off and get some kibble white valves or some other kind of good valve and have a head job done to it. You know, the valve's done, the valve seat's done, and kind of go from there. But I mean, this has been a great bike. I can't complain. The guy who had it before me definitely took care of it. You know, the only thing that's different from this and the others is he cut the plastics off here. He didn't like how low it hung, which is fine. I mean, I don't mind. It kind of makes it look a little nicer compared to, you know, just having that long piece hanging down there. But I do have this one on the market up for sale. And this one is going to be my son's dirt bike. And we did put the tires on there. I did put some wheel spacers on there, give it a little more kick out. Let me push this 14 out of the way and I'll show you. So he's definitely got a wider stance. You can see the rear drum sticks out, but not much you can do with that because it is a rear drum brake machine. He has not ridden this since I put the wheel spacers on there. I did go a 2-inch on each side, so it kicked out 4 inches. And it definitely gives it a lot wider stance. So I rode it. I love it. It's a lot more stable, and I think he'll enjoy it too. But anyway, like I said, I did swap over all those shocks on that one. So we got the white in the rear and the resis up front. One thing I did notice, the newer models have a bigger A-arm, so it's a lot more, I guess it's wider this way than the 03, 04s. I'll show you on that bike. If you can see right there, you see how much wider it is. So that was definitely a design change. I know 03 and I do believe 04 have the one like my other bike there, and then after that they changed it to that. I just think it was just due to the resi shocks. They're a little bit wider than the pogos, but I did put the pogos on here. I've been riding this around today just to make sure it runs good, and it runs great, and let's see what we can get for it. All right, so I sold flip bike number 19 last night, the 07 LTZ 400. Gentleman came and got that for his daughter who was looking to upgrade in bikes. She was currently, I believe, on a Polaris Phoenix 200. They are frequent duners, and I guess the bike just wasn't cutting it for her. So she is getting a nice 07 LTZ 400. He was really pleased with the way it looked. I mean, it was a really clean bike, and I did post it. So it did come with these paddle tires here. I did post it up for sale, not including the paddle tires, but there was a picture of the paddle tires, those Nerf bars that were on the last flip bike, those silver ones with the black netting. And I did post up my exhaust that I have, the Pro Circuit T4 exhaust. I did post that up as well for an additional fee. You could have all three for like $500. And I kind of did that to see if anybody would take that stuff. He just wanted the Nerf bars. I did throw them in to kind of sweeten the deal on his end. He felt like he was getting something for free. I was more willing to give it to him because he said his daughter was going to be using it. So I'd rather her have that safety net, so she doesn't get sucked under, slip off the foot peg and maybe get a leg caught under the tire and get hurt. So I had no problem throwing those in. The bike I did pick up for $3,000. It did need a major cleaning. It was filthy, it was dirty, it was dusty, and you know me, I always wash my bikes before I work on them, if at all possible. That way I don't drop dirt down the cylinders or contaminate anything with the dirt that's on it. And you'll get more money if you clean your bike when you go to sell it. A lot of these guys, they'll just throw them up on Marketplace as is, or you'll see the pictures where it's all wet, that they just got done washing it, because when it's wet, that's when it always looks clean. Dead giveaway that bike doesn't look clean when it's dry. And when you guys take pictures that are real far away, that is another dead giveaway that the bike doesn't look good. I always try to get up and close, on my bikes, so that way you get what you see in the pictures. So he did pick that up for $4,000. I was firm on the price. I let him know that in the posting I wasn't going to take less. So by throwing in the Nerf bars, like I said, he felt like he was getting something for free, which I had no problem giving him Nerf bars. And as far as what I had into that bike, I had to rebuild the carburetor. So we had a carb kit and an air filter, and then I ended up replacing the rear brake light. So I did notice that it was a little melted on the end. If you guys remember that bike, it had those two little melt marks on the other fender right about there from this exhaust bracket right here. So at some point, the exhaust came loose on that, which I don't understand how that could have happened unless it was taken off while it was hot. I don't know. It didn't look like there was ever an aftermarket exhaust on there. There may have been. He may have taken that off and sold it or gave it to somebody. Who knows? But it is what it is. So I did go ahead and replace the taillight. I don't like giving my buyers anything to complain about, especially on a nice bike like that. I'd rather spend a few bucks to replace the taillight, and that way they don't have anything to negotiate with. Not that he was really negotiating at all. He asked me what my bottom price was. I told him I'm at 4 firm, and he's like, if you throw in those Nerf bars, I'll be happy to give you 4. So I gave him the Nerf bars. I got my $4,000, and that was that. As far as parts go, I had $58 into that bike. So I can sell those paddles for 60 bucks and I'll make my $1,000. But I'll save those for another day, maybe with another bike. I definitely don't need paddles, as I have already 4 sets. I got 3 of these style paddles and then another set like the ones over here. And then I got some front razors up there for the front. But she is gone. I definitely noticed a big difference in the way this thing handles with these Resi shocks on there. To buy a pair of front shocks for this bike, you're looking at aftermarket, probably a good few $100s. And Resi shocks, OEM style, they're hard to come by. Those are always the first thing to go when people part out bikes. Honestly, I should have done Resi shocks a long time ago, but the shocks that I've had in the past on bikes in the past were pretty rough. These things are like brand new. There's no scuffs, there's no dings, there's no rock chips. They're just mint. They're like, I just bought them old stock shocks. So we did steal those, and we did put the pogos back on that bike. In the meantime, did pick up some extra parts. So I got these 4 tires here with rims. So all 4 have rims. They're scraped up rims. They're not horrible. I've had worse, but it's hard to find wheels when you need them. The tires, they all hold air. They're they're not horrible. I mean, they still got some tread on them. If I had to use them, I could. But I got those, and then I got these 2 boxes of parts here. This box of parts is actually dirt bike parts. So this is for a Honda 06 250R. So that stuff will go to the neighbor. He's the dirt bike guy. I have no use for that. And then I got this stuff in here. So we got the snorkel tube for the air box, which I've had a couple bikes that I've had to buy this for. So it's nice having another one there. I got a mystery bracket. If anybody knows what this bracket is for, please drop a comment down below. That way I can see what this is for. I do believe he said it was for an ATC 3-wheeler, so I don't know. It's kind of weird. My guess is like a seat bracket. Seat would clamp on there, but then like maybe a wire harness goes through there. But I have no idea. There's no part number. There's no name on it. So I'm kind of at a loss. So whoever guesses that right, maybe I'll just send it to you. Nah, just kidding, guys. This will probably just end up in the garbage. I think he said it was like worth 20 bucks or something if I posted it up on eBay, but I mean, for 20 bucks, I might as well just scrap metal it. We got a nice yellow instrument cluster. Obviously his bike was yellow at the time. This is actually off the bottom of the airbox lid. This is pretty much useless, just trash. And we have a choke cable in here, missing the end on the choke, but I do know those do come off, and you can put another one on there. I think I do have a cable that's froze up that needs the end, but let's see what we got here. We got some rear spindles, the end caps to some A-arms, and a gas cap, and this is probably the best piece in here, which is this hard as a rock plastic hose. I mean, this thing is so hard right now. It's it's solid garbage. I don't even know if this cap is OEM. I mean, that cap doesn't look that way. That cap doesn't look that way. So my guess is this is an aftermarket cap. If it's even for a Suzuki, who knows? But it's in there. And then this bag here has some handlebar mounts and a rear shock mount and some like the handlebar grip, the little black things at the end of the handlebar, and then an air filter cage. And that's pretty much it, along, like I said, with that stuff. And then I also got all this stuff, so we got a complete exhaust, which is nice because I always run into a bike that I want to take the exhaust off. That's how I acquired one of my Yoshi exhausts, and I kind of built that up. I found a bike that had a complete set, but first it was a slip-on, so I was able to put an OEM exhaust back on that other bike. So those are always profit margins for you as well. If you guys get an exhaust, put it back to OEM. Don't sell the bike with it. Let the next guy figure out what he wants on it. So we got 2 more pogos for the front. I actually got a set of straight OEM handlebars. I was very surprised that they were straight. Majority of them that I do get are bent, but I put these on the ground just to see if there's any, movement. They are straight. Oh, maybe it's a little bent. So they may be a little bent. Not by much. Could be the concrete as well. See that over here. Yeah, I mean, they're just, there's just very little play in them. So, I mean, I could use these down the road if need be. And then got a front bumper, OEM front bumper, a little bit of rust. Looks like they painted it black at some point, because I know these didn't come black. My guess is they just stripped it down. I mean, you can still see some of the silver down there. And they just painted it black, but it is straight. Nothing wrong with it. So we got that. Like I said, 2 more pogos, the rear shock, and then all these front A-arms to go with that. So that, all this box, I'm not gonna count that box. And then these 4 tires and rims, $200. Can't go wrong there. And then I did purchase this as well. This is a long travel, it's called iShock kit. So it's a fully adjustable shock, long extended control arms, Resi shocks. I picked this up for $30, smoking deal. But unfortunately, it's just the OEM stuff that he took off. So, do have some nice clean pogos in here as well. Some upper and lower control arms. Looks like we got some tie rod links there. And then there were these aluminum guards on the bottom A-arm when I got this. So kind of got those for part of the deal. Came with the hardware. And then if you guys look at this kit, it's a pretty elaborate kit, hydrodynamics. I've never seen these things. I don't know how much they run, but I mean, it comes with a lot of stuff. It comes with the upper A-arms, the lower A-arms, bushings, sleeves, some sort of protective decals, Zerk fittings, tie rods, upper ball joints, lower ball joints, an installation DVD, instructions, and decal pack, 4 brake line clamps. I guess that's not included in one of the kits. Brake lines and crush washers, not included in one of the kits, but it is in this one. Ball joint press tool. Where is that ball joint press tool? That was pretty, I wonder if I took that. I think I took that out of here. Yeah, I think it's in the toolbox, but it was pretty cool. It was just a little tool that, you know, it would push your ball joints out. And let's see, shock spring preload tool, shocks. So you got shocks as well in this kit. So it looks like they got a couple different kits, like an I-2500 and I-3500. I don't know what kit this one was. Let's see if we can find a number on here. This is for an 0506. This is an I-4500, so I'll just rip that paper off. So this one was the I-4500, so you did get all the upgraded stuff with it. Apparently the shocks, shock spring preload tool, but if you guys look at this box, it's Hydrodynamics USA, and then I don't know if these are like Elka shocks and they just rebranded them with iShock, but you got your control arms there, upper and lower, and then your Resi shocks, and this is all that's included in these kits. But I paid $30 for all this stuff here. Isn't a bad deal. I can always use nice, clean, straight, damaged-free stuff. So we did go ahead and pick this up for $30. And that is about it, guys. We did close on the house. We will be moving here next week. And stay tuned for some more videos over there. We are going to do a little garage setup. Going to get a lift. Going to get a bigger toolbox. This is what I'm working out of now. This green one here, because that's all I can fit in this garage. Everything at this point is kind of purchased accordingly, and we will find another flip bike. I got my eye on another one that I actually messaged her prior to buying this one, but she was 3.5 hours north of me, which probably is now going to be 4 hours north of me after I move. And the deal with that one was it had the recall on the magnesium clutch cover. So she did the recall at the dealer, and it doesn't have a water pump in it. So I don't know if she didn't want to spend the money to do it. She just did the recall and then didn't want to pay for the extra labor and whatnot to do the water pump. So it looks pretty clean. It's probably pretty comparable to that white one I just sold, number 19. It does have the original tires. I think it comes with some paddles. And it does not, like, I asked her if she could start it up and run it, so we may be able to hear it run for a few, but just due to not having coolant in it, we don't want to run it for too long. But what worries me is, did it overheat? Did it start leaking? Or did they just get a notice about the recall? So I don't know. I think I'm willing to venture up there to check it out. I kind of already talked her down in price prior, so I may be able to talk her down some more when I go up there because she still has it for a long time. This guy that I bought this bike from, he actually had his bike posted for a year. I found the bike. I messaged him if he still had it, and the last time he updated it was a year ago. So if you guys see bikes posted up a long time ago, don't be afraid just to ask. It doesn't hurt to send them a message, be like, hey, if you got this, can I come take a look? Most people don't want that message, hey, is this still available? Because it's kind of annoying, but I get that all the time, and it's just people fishing, see if it's still available. I don't think they have any intention to come look at it. but I kind of stray away from that little sign that's right there, you know, you just click on it, is this still available? I just get a little more personal. I'll be like, hey, I'm definitely interested. Can I come take a look if you still got it? And then they usually respond 9 out of 10 times. I'll be like, yeah, I still got it. You want to come take a look? Sure. Or no, I sold it. And then, or they'll just mark it as sold. It kind of cleans up the marketplace and offer up too, because then they see that their posting is still up and they're like, oh, well, I better take that down so nobody else contacts me. So anyway, we are going to be moving here next week. I do have some pallet racking in my sights because I need to put all these tires, all these parts, and all these bins and subframes, more parts. And there's some parts scattered through up there as well. So we're gonna have to deal with that. So I need more storage. So we definitely will be moving into the right house. This garage is pretty full, as you guys can see, between the trailer, the machines, the parts, the tools, the tires. It's just too much in here. So on that note, I'm gonna go ahead and give you one of these, and we'll see you at the new place.